going to do a bonus example just to make sure we're clear with this domain concept. Let's suppose that, no, let's go crazy here. Let's suppose that k of x was the square root of 5x plus 7, and L of x is x squared minus 9. I want you to think about the domain of k over L. The domain of k over L will be all numbers common to both except for the denominator 0. What's the domain of k? What type of function is k? Square root function, and if only you had a question on your test that says, how do you find the domain of a square root function? Set the radicand to be greater than or equal to 0. So if we subtract 7 and divide by 5, we get the domain of k to be x greater than or equal to negative 7/5. L, what's the domain of L? So looking at L, are there any fractions? Are there any radicals? Any of that third thing we don't know about? Say no. So what's the domain of L? All real numbers. So the domain of k over L would be all the numbers they have in common. Well, so far, putting these together, this says x has to be bigger than or equal to negative 7/5. This says x could be any number. So putting these together, what numbers do they have in common? X is greater than or equal to negative 7/5. But now, since we have a fraction, we have to take out any number that makes L equal to 0. So what values of x does that lead to? X can't equal plus or minus 3. Do we have to talk about negative 3? Because what this says combined says that x is greater than or equal to negative 7/5, and x can't equal plus or minus 3. So do we have to explicitly state about negative 3? No, because negative 3 is smaller than negative 7/5. We need it to be at least negative 7/5. So our domain would be x is greater than or equal to negative 7/5, and also x can't be 3. So find the individual domains. If you were finding the domain of f plus, f minus, or f times g, this would be your answer right here, only what they have in common. Call it a day. But since it's f divided by g, we then also have to take out any numbers that make the denominator 0, plus or minus 3. Negative 3 would be redundant because it doesn't satisfy the first part. So we can just say x can't be 3. Put that inequality.